Live from Moore Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for Sunday edition of Southwestern Athletic Conference Volleyball on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company as two of the top teams in the SWAC face off today at Moore Gym. It's the Prairie View A&M Panthers, 10-10 overall, 7-0 in SWAC play, coming off two straight 3-0 wins at home last week. And the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, 9-11 overall, 6-2 in SWAC play, riding a 5-match winning streak, including beating Texas Southern on Friday 3-1 here at the gym, a Texas Southern team that was second in the SWAC before the Wildcats knocked them off. And the Wildcats have a chance to go second with a win today. Once again, my name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company. Flying solo today on the CatEye Network, but appreciate you all the same. As we are just about set to go, Prairie View comes in with one of the top players, not only in the SWAC, but in all of mid-major volleyball. Kylie Owens leads the SWAC in kills, leads the SWAC in service aces, reigning SWAC Player of the Year, 2025 preseason Player of the Year, on track to win another Player of the Year award, and she is joined by a spectacular supporting cast that has seen Prairie View take down all of their opponents so far in conference play. But can the Wildcats take their Melissa Gonzalez back to serve, and we are underway. Overpass on the first play, and Kaylee Williams puts it down for point number one. A targeted Demaya Hill in the middle of the back row. Melissa Gonzalez, one of the better servers in this conference, third in the conference in surface aces. Carvalho will set it up near pin for the Cats. Amaya Jennings dug out off the ceiling, but kept alive. It'll be a free ball for BCU. Carvalho again. But Gonzalez on the slide, and it's a beauty for Williams. 2 in a row for Kaylee Williams. And the Wildcats lead 2-0. The Wildcats have struggled to defend against those slide attacks this season, but they use it there to their advantage. This time in system and a kill for Kylie Owens, her 258th of the season. She averages 3.5 per set, leads the SWAC, of course. Now in her 4th season at Prairie View A&M, a senior this year, Owens. Everything's near pin. AJ Simmons down the line. Oh, and she got it in. A cross-court shot that clipped the line. Called in by both the up official and the side judge, and it's 3-1 Cats, so the Wildcats immediately side out. That'll send Amaya Jennings to the line. It'll be, or it is currently, the month of Amaya Jennings as Prairie View answers back with Iona Sherwood getting her first kill. Sherwood out of San Antonio. Only a couple players on this Prairie View team not from the state of Texas. 3-2, Jennings with the great dig to set it up. AJ Simmons tipped off the hands and kept alive for Owens to swing at. She goes short shot, just clips the tape and down, and we're tied at 3. But Amaya Jennings in Friday's win over Texas Southern, had 20 kills and has had 15 plus in the last 3 matches. That's a really good serve. Wildcats will scramble it over through Carvalho. A chance for Prairie View to take the lead, but a setting error will give the point to the Wildcats. Mackenzie Taplin, the senior setter out of Glen Heights, Texas. Played that way too tall for Valencia Wilder to get. 4-3 Bethune-Cookman. Here's Kaylee Williams on serve. Long run for Taplin, and the ball is blocked down for a Wildcats kill. And I don't even think the Wildcats touched it, as the official called 4 touches on that one. Wildcats serving tough here early going, forcing some out-of-system plays from the Panthers. Another tough one, but a great pass right to Taplin, and the middle attack is clean for Demaya Hill, the Lubbock, Texas native out of Western Texas. Transferred to Prairie View from Western Texas College after her freshman year. Now a junior, last year at Prairie View. 2.5 kills per set for Demaya Hill, and it's 5-4 as these two teams go back and forth. Taylor Ruffin, the junior setter, will serve it. Preston made a late choice to play that off the serve. She gets the swing. It's tipped off the hands, and a solo block down front for Sierra Herndon. The Wildcats defensively not up to Coach Williams' lofty standards on Friday. They got out-blocked 10-4. And as a team in the Wildcats that consistently leads the SWAC in blocks, they're currently second right now behind Florida A&M. 4 blocks in a match is low. Back set slide. Nice dig by Jennings. Great pass, but stuffed in the middle by Valencia Wilder as Prairie View gets that block right back. So both teams trading solo blocks, and the Wildcats lead is back to just 6-5 as the freshman Camille Middleton comes in to serve. Middleton from Fort Worth. They target Jennings again. That pass sends Hemphill back. The chip shot is good from Preston. Teresita Caldwell was there in the middle to try and play it for the Panthers, but got that all kinds of wrong, and VCU maintains that lead 7-5. Riley Davis on serve for the Cats. Near side slide again. Great dig by Carvalho to keep it up on the near side. Sets up Jennings. That's a tame pass, and the set is a little bit behind Owens, but she does force a free ball back from the Cats. Here come the Panthers, back to Owens. This time, Owens in stride will finish the kill down the middle. And it's 7-6. Wilder back to serve now. One of the few players not from Texas on this Prairie View team, from Columbus, Ohio, and started her college career at West Virginia State, but she serves that one long. And it's 8-6 Wildcats. Carvalho serves it. And it hits off the ceiling for a Carvalho ace. That's that home court advantage of playing here at Moore Gymnasium. That's the first 2 kills in a row for either team since it was 4-3. Tooling the block on the far side is Owens, who only had 257 career kills at Culver City High School. Owens. She came into today's ball game with 257 kills on the season and leads the SWAC by a fair margin. Wildcats with a 2-point lead, 9-7 here in set number 1. Morgan Wingo over the top of the far pin. And that one got all kinds of wrong for the Panthers, and it hits the pin. Iona Sherwood went back set for Middleton. And nobody was there to hit it for the Panthers, and Middleton was trying to play it over for a freebie, but it hit the pin. Miscommunication there for the Panthers. Wearing the gray tops today, purple pants, purple accessories. Fastball on the pass from the back row forces a free ball. Here come the Cats, squeeze through the block. Panthers will play it. Owens behind her head and way out of play off the defensive specialist, Riley Davis. Davis getting an earful from Coach Williams as the teams once again start trading points. But the Wildcats have had 2 2-0 runs. That's how they have this 10-8 lead. Davis have to set it up for a free pass. Big swing by Hill. Fought off by Davis. Here comes Jennings down the line, and it's good. Off the defensive specialist, Layla Smalls. Smalls from San Antonio leads the team in digs. Mechanical engineering student off the court, Layla Smalls. Teardrop serve, and that's going to be batted around and barely go over. Prairie View just avoids the ace. Ty Preston in stride off high hands. Back set, teardropped over, and that is a Wildcat in the net. So the Panthers, a little unintentional point there, as the setting has not been great for Prairie View early on here. They trail just 11-9. Here is Smalls, the libero. Pushed back towards Preston. Did that touch hands before it went out? No. And it's a 2-point swing for Prairie View. And they're down just 1, 11-10. Smalls off the tape, and it's an ace, and we're tied at 11. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about that. Layla Smalls played everywhere in high school. 241 kills, 61 blocks as a senior at Brandis High School in Texas. That one down the line, and it clipped the line. 2 straight service aces for Smalls as she goes from 12 to 14 on the year. Smalls, as a senior, led Brandis High School to the 6A state title and had the winning kill in that state final. Right now she is serving all over the Wildcats. Finally, a play for BCU goes to Simmons, down the line and in the corner. Beautiful hit from Simmons. And the Wildcats tied again at 12 after a 3-point scoring run for Prairie View. Smalls getting a earful from her head coach, Dottie Hampton. Hampton in her first year as a head coach at Prairie View, but a very experienced operator. Quick play to the middle, fought off by the Panthers. Big swing, long. Iona Sherwood hit that strongly, but Amaya Jennings in the back row wisely let it go as the Cats jump back ahead 13-12. As I mentioned, Hampton in her first season at Prairie View. Really nice pass to set up Small, and a great dig by Jennings that can't be followed up by Riley Davis. And it's 13-all. Hampton replaces Sherry Lindsay at Prairie View A&M. She was hired away by Memphis in the offseason, but Hampton has been a head coach at some pretty good programs. South Carolina, Niagara, Coastal Carolina, and UNC Wilmington. Set from behind the 3-meter line. Some Prairie View players run into each other, and it ends up being an overpass that is killed off by Sierra Herndon. We just gotta hope that Smalls is okay after that coming together between her and Jade Coates. This is the kind of match everybody was expecting going in. Very tight, 14-13 Cats first set. This is the area as a middle attack is squeezed through Herndon, kept up brilliantly by Preston. But another chance for Prairie View to attack it. Smalls down the line and out. Missed hands, missed everything. As Smalls looked like she was trying to tool that block. And a timeout, Prairie View. And it's 15-13. But as I mentioned in the win against Texas Southern, the 3 sets they won, it was always tight up until the middle teams. And then the Wildcats in those 3 sets that they won pulled away and ended up winning 25-20, 25-20, and 25-18 in the 3 sets that they did take. Do you love Bethune-Cookman University sports? Of course you do. Then don't miss Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by voice of the Wildcats Michael Turillo and featuring the expertise of Bethune-Cookman sports information staff. Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune in to 1380 WELE Daytona Beach every Saturday to catch the show live or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Stitcher. We're on all of them. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to Hail Wildcats Radio. 4 kills for Owens, 3 for Hill, and 2 for Sherwood. For Prairie View, the Wildcats are more spread out, 2 each for Williams and Simmons, and then 1 for Wingo, Jennings, Herndon, and Preston. Prairie View has 4 attack errors to Bethune-Cookman's 2 right now, and the Wildcats are hitting .353. As they lead 15-13 in this first set. Wildcats back on serve. Here's Nola Hemphill, who is 3rd in the SWAC in assists right now this season. A great serve, forces the libero to dive all the way to the floor. And then a swing goes way out the back for a Wildcat point by Kylie Owens. 2 straight attack errors for Prairie View, and it's 16-13 Bethune-Cookman. Hill, tip shot, doesn't clear the tape. And a 3rd straight attack error for the Panthers means it's 17-13 Wildcats. Nola Hemphill serving very well here, mixing it up. Some are flat and hard like this one, some are teardropped right over the net. Prairie View middle attack, Carvalho ricochets it into the net, but Herndon can't save it from there, and it's 17-14 as Prairie View finally sides out. 6 attack errors from Prairie View in this first set as they're hitting just 160. Wildcats lead by 3, 17-14. Camille Middleton, the freshman from Fort Worth, Boswell High School serving now for Prairie View. Late decision to play that from Jennings, and it ends up being a free ball. That Kylie Owens kills off down the middle. Something tells me from my not very great angle up here in the corner of the gym that Jennings probably should have let that one go. She does let that one go, and it's a service error. Out into the BCU bench. So Prairie View shooting themselves in the foot mostly in this first set with 6 attack errors and 2 service errors. Both teams have 2 service aces. And Riley Davis will put the ball in play. Short serve right by the net. Oh my goodness. It was barely kept on the Panthers' side by the setter and kind of excuse-me'd over by Wilder, and the Wildcats weren't ready for it because it barely cleared the tape. And just like that, Prairie View's right back in it. It's 18-16 with Wilder on serve. Carvalho puts it off the ceiling. And it's a service ace for Wilder. Ceiling giveth, ceiling take it away. Timeout Bethune-Cookman as the Cats' lead has been trimmed to 18-17 off 4 of the last 5 points for Prairie View A&M. Football season is back at the beach, and you can catch every touchdown, tackle, and everything in between free on CatEye Network Radio. Catch every second of every game, including pre- and post-game coverage with the voice of the Wildcats, Michael Turillo. Live free on local airwaves in Daytona Beach at 1380 WELE on your radio. Not local? No problem. Head to youtube.com/CatEye Network for the booth cam. You can watch me and Daryl Natil in the booth call the game. Or you can head over to bcuathletics.com/radio, powered by MixLR, on your smart TV, computer, or mobile device for all the coverage you need. That's 1380 WELE on local radio, youtube.com/CatEye Network, or bcuathletics.com/radio. Don't miss a second of all the football action this season. So the Wildcats, through a couple of Prairie View errors, got out to a 4-point lead. But Prairie View has scored 4 of the last 5, and now it's just 18-17 Bethune-Cookman. Krista Opeodu is into the game for the first time, the freshman from San Diego, California, serving for the Panthers. Little short hop, jump serve, too long, and another error for Prairie View. 3rd service error. 19-17 Cats. The Wildcats don't put a ton of service aces in. They sit 5th in the SWAC in aces. That's a great serve by Carvalho. But sometimes it doesn't matter when you've got Kylie Owens on the other side. She just takes any set and betters it. But the Wildcats only have 67 service errors on the season. Their opponents coming in have hit 145 errors. So a very careful serving team, the Wildcats. Jennings' first contact. Temple goes back to Jennings, and that's out, but it took a touch on the way through for a Wildcat point, and they're the first to 20 at 20-18. Maya Jennings been quiet in this first set after a 20-kill night on Friday. That's only her 2nd kill of the match on 4 swings for Amaya Jennings. Panthers in system, but it only can be tipped into the block and then punched over. Here come the Cats. Slide for A.J. Simmons. Kaboom! A.J. Simmons had a tough night on Friday. Hit barely over 0. Had a couple of costly errors in the one set the Wildcats dropped. So good to see her get a little bit of a bounce back day today. She's now 3 of 5 with no errors for a 600 hitting percentage. 21-18 Cats in the first set. Looks like we have a substitution issue as the down official is checking in with Lori, who handles the substitutions at the scorer's table. Wildcats on a 2-0 run. They lead 21-18 in set one. Melissa Gonzalez, the team leader in aces with 27, third in the conference in aces coming into the game. Will serve it. Owens off high hands. Carvalho once. Jennings once. Davis plays it over. Almost an overpass. Saved at the net. Cross-court shot. Out of play. Wildcats get the wild point. 22-18. Another Prairie View hitting error. Their 7th of set one. What a serve by Gonzalez. It goes off of Smalls and into the Panthers bench. Timeout Prairie View. It's 23-18 Cats. After the timeout called by Bethune-Cookman, they've gone on a 4-1 run to take a 23-18 lead in set number one. Shout out to Wildcat legend Nyara Hightower, watching on the CatEye Network on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in from across the pond. Nyara is currently plying her trade over in England at the semi-professional level. A Wildcat playing at the next level in any sport is something to be celebrated, so thank you for tuning in. 23-18 Wildcats. This Prairie View team has not dropped a set since my birthday, the 9th of October, when they beat Texas Southern 3-1. The only time they've been pushed to 5 sets in conference play is when they beat Jackson State 3-2 at home back on the 5th of October. Every other match except those two for Prairie View has been 3-0 sweeps in conference play. Owens off the block and out. Prairie View takes the serve back. And then Owens goes back to serve. Owens, not just a great attacker, but a great server as well, leads the conference in service aces coming into the match with 32. Jennings backs up Gonzalez, back to Jennings. Great dig by Sherwood. Owens, check that, Hill, tips it over the block. It's A.J. Simmons, finds the libero, tipped back at the net, tipped over. Carvalho sets it up again. It's a dump to the middle. Pancaked up, but it doesn't matter. It hit the ground, and the Wildcats will take the point off a rare kill by the setter. Melissa Gonzalez, only her 19th of the year. Five set points for Bethune-Cookman in set one. They'd like to get it done right now. But Tamaya Hill says, you're gonna have to wait with a big in-system swing. Pretty much everything that Prairie View has done has gone to that far pin, the left-hand side, where both Tamaya Hill and Kylie Owens wait. And why wouldn't you go there if that's your 1-2 punch? Smalls, the serve, tipped over by Preston. Tip back to the Wildcats. AJ for the set, blocker out! Bethune-Cookman takes set number one, 25-20. Wow. But really, Prairie View shot themselves in the foot in that first set. They hit 229 with 7 attack errors and 3 service errors. The Wildcats hit a magnificent 417 with 3 service errors, 3 service aces, no service errors, and only 2 attack errors. We'll take about 90-second break, and when we come back, it's the second set here from Moore Gym as the Wildcats lead 1-0. This is Bethune-Cookman Volleyball on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. Back at Moore Gymnasium for set number 2. The Wildcats take set 1 over Prairie View, 25-20. It's the first set that Prairie View has dropped since the 9th of October when they beat Texas Southern on the road. At that point, both teams were undefeated in conference. But the Wildcats may be the hottest team in the SWAC right now, riding a 5-match winning streak. And with winnable matches coming up next week on the road at Arkansas Pine Bluff and at Grambling State, when Alabama A&M comes to town on October 31st, the winning streak could be 8. And that could be for first place, that game against Alabama A&M. But they, what I talk about chickens before they hatch all the time. That's a pretty big stretch right there. We're not even out of the woods in this match yet. We're just up 1-0. And as poor as Prairie View at times looked in that first set, I'm still in football mode. They have the weapons. Little joust at the net falls to the Wildcat side. Preston has to hit from the back row. Tough set for the libero, and it goes out. That was a hit for Demaya Hill out beyond the 3-meter line, and she couldn't get it to stick. That was a long run for Smalls to behind that 3-meter line. Had to set it behind her head. There wasn't much Hill could do with it. 1-0 Bethune-Cookman here in set 2 as Amaya Jennings goes on serve. Stuffed! The Wildcats pick up their second block of the match, and they do it in style against Iona Sherwood. Preston and Williams will get a credit each for that one. 2-0. Big swing off the block. Carvalho, what a dig to keep it alive. A.J. Simmons can't finish it off. Owens with first contact. Back to Hill. Another great dig for the Wildcats. Preston, too strong. Wildcat defense making its presence known. The Wildcats lead the conference in digs per set at 15.1. The Prairie View's also good backline defense is second in the conference in digs per set at 13.2. Serve is long, point BCU. As the errors continue to pile up for Prairie View, their 4th service error of the match. That one off the arm of Smalls. And they give serve right back to the Wildcats, who lead 3-1. And Kaylee Williams goes back to serve. That serve a bit inside for Sherwood. AJ Simmons tries to respond off the hands. Owens is locked to the back row. She can't really do anything. They go to Simmons again tipped off the block. Hill in full stride, and that one's too strong. 4-1 Bethune-Cookman. Kaylee Williams, the freshman from Maryland, has come in and taken this conference by storm, leads the SWAC in blocks coming into the match with 84 total blocks on the season. And she's gonna get the ace as well. Williams had 2 service aces on Friday. She gets her 21st of the season right there. And it's 5-1 Wildcats. Another great serve forces an out-of-system play and a free ball. Gonzalez to Preston, off the block and down. After every point, I'm looking to Dottie Hampton on that Prairie View sideline. Looks like she might be ready to call a timeout here already. With the Wildcats up 6-1 in set 2. And Kaylee Williams still on serve. This time better from the Panthers as they fly through with Demaya Hill to tool the block for the kill. Hill up to 5 kills for the match, Owens with 7. But Hill also with 4 errors. Before that, she was hitting even on 15 swings. And the Panthers side out. It's 6-2, and Taylor Ruffin, the junior setter who leads this team in assists, will go back to serve. Gonzalez behind her head. Simmons blocked. Great cover by the Cats, but here come the Panthers, pushed across. 1, 2, and a great save by Carvalho. Wildcats playing desperate to keep this point alive. Another diving save by Gonzalez, and tipped down the line. Now the Cats have a free ball. Gonzalez straight up in the air. Simmons middle attack goes long. And the rally of the match is won by Prairie View on a Wildcat hitting error. Only their 4th of the match. The Wildcats backline is putting in some crazy work, as they have done all season long, but that's going to be a service ace off a bad serve reception by Tiana Preston. And here come the Panthers. 3 straight points, and it's 6-4. Another error as Taylor Ruffin serves into the net. Taylor Ruffin already has 1 SWAC Setter of the Week award to her name this year. First week of conference play against Southern and Alcorn. 2 3-0 wins for Prairie View. She got Setter of the Week in the SWAC. And now Nola Hemphill will go back to serve for the Wildcats. Big swing out the back. And off the basketball hoop, out of play. They're really feeding Demaya Hill right now, Prairie View. And Hill's going to check out in favor of Camille Middleton, who's the better server. Middleton, the freshman, former Skyline Volleyball Club member. Preston mishits that one off of her elbow into the net. And it's 7-6 as the Panthers are right back in it. And now it's the Wildcats hitting errors that are the issue. Wildcats, Preston pushed down the line. Kept up once, twice, and a free ball played over by Owens. Hempel back set. Morgan Wingo off the block and into the audience on the far side. Morgan Wingo has been brought into the rotation as that 3rd outside hitter due to the injury to Mecca Freeman. Freeman was named preseason All-SWAC second team, but was injured in that last week of non-conference play. That's a really poor serve from Riley Davis. That keeps the Panthers in it at 8-7. But with Freeman being out, and we hope to have her back before the tournament, Morgan Wingo has gotten some critical points. Carvalho with a fastball play, and a quick middle hit is dug out by Ruffin. But the Wildcats will get another chance to attack. Not a great set. Wingo fought off by Wilder, back row. Owens in stride. Kylie Owens, there's a reason why she is the reigning SWAC Player of the Year and on track to win it again this year. She ties the second set at 8. The Wildcats led 6-1. But really the only thing hurting the Panthers right now is themselves, as that's another service error. Wildcats take back the lead at 9-8 and finally side out. Middle attack, Carvalho with the dig. Back to Jennings. She tools the block. It was close, but it did land out of play. Wildcats haven't gone to Amaya Jennings as much, as that's only her third kill. As someone who's had 20 plus, that's an ace. Carvalho with one that barely clears the tape. And Adeline Jadiofor can't set it up, puts it out of play. Jadiofor leads the team in blocks and is actually third in the SWAC in blocks, with 58 coming in today. Carvalho, what a dig. Jennings cross court. Jadiofor redeems herself. The tip shot is covered. Jennings flies at it again, but plays it out. Coach Williams asking her team if that hit anybody. It didn't. And the parade of hitting errors for both of these squads continues. There have been more attack errors than kills combined in this second set. Wingo. Smalls barely kept alive, and that one's not gonna get back to the net. Poor contact from Smalls' back row, played it out the back of the court. It was a valiant effort by Middleton, but then Taplin couldn't get it to stick. That's the second kill for Morgan Wingo. Block, out. Point Panthers. Wingo had 4 kills on 13 swings with 3 errors on Friday night. Not the most efficient night, and she'll check out and be replaced by A.J. Simmons. Not a great first contact by Carvalho. Simmons gonna have to dig it out from behind her head, and she hits the pin. And the Panthers will not go away. It's 12-11. That's a better pass, but this time Prairie View's ready for the dump. Hill off the hands. Gonzalez sets up Simmons, who can only tip it into the block because the block was late. Joust at the net, comes down on the Wildcat side. Simmons again tips it over the block, covered by Prairie View. Hill, roll shot. The Wildcats keep it alive again. And then it's stuffed. There's the first block of the game for Adeline Jadiofor. As I mentioned, third in the SWAC in blocks, and Jennings had nowhere to go with that one, just put it right on her hands. Tie game at 12-12. Overpass into the net. This one's got to go over from Davis. Carvalho can't save it. Tamaya Hill getting a lot of action right now for Prairie View as Wildcats call a timeout. as Prairie View is ahead in a set for the first time since the early teens of set number 1. Hill, 7 kills, Owens, 9 kills. Nobody else on Prairie View with more than 2, whereas the Wildcats are more spread out. Simmons has 4, Wingo and Jennings both have 3. But the attack errors are what's really killing the Wildcats in set 2, as they did with Prairie View in set 1. The Wildcats hitting in the negatives. 4 kills, 6 errors right now. Prairie View not doing much better, hitting 105, 5 kills, 3 errors. But with 3 service errors in the first set, and Prairie View having 6 service errors in the match overall. Very high level of play for the Wildcats in set 1, but like we saw last night, or on Friday night rather, when Texas Southern tied the match at 1 before the Wildcats rattled off the 3rd and 4th, the Wildcats went from hitting really well, 417 in set 1, to now in the negatives in set number 2. They just turn off. And maybe that timeout by Coach Williams will get it turned back on for BCU. Can't do worse than Amaya Jennings, but she can't do a lot with that set. Wildcats get another chance at it. It's Jennings. Off the block, covered by Owens. Hill, block back covered. Here comes Prairie View, it's Hill again. Off high hands, Davis punches it over the net, and from her knees recovers again. Simmons has to step inside, plays it to the middle. Owens standing hit into the block. Williams was right there to eat it up, and that point belongs to Riley Davis. 2 ridiculous digs, one from her knees after she was recovering from the first one, to tie this one at 13. And she comes off the court and is embraced by her teammates on the ever-rowdy BCU bench. Middle attack is good for the Panthers. That was Jadea Ford. The Wildcats struggled dealing with that quick set to the middle against Texas Southern on Friday. Really only stopped it once or twice. Way in the back row is Jennings. Is Hill again. Jennings with the diving dig. Across to Preston, who can't clear the block. The net rattles, but the play continues. Simmons tipped down the line, out. And the poor run of form for the Wildcats in the second set continues. They've dropped from hitting 470 in the first set. In the match now, they're hitting 132, which means in the set, their hitting percentage is negative 103. 7 errors, 4 kills. A brutal run of form for the Cats, but they're still only down 2, 15-13. That's because Prairie View has 4 errors as well in this set. They try to give the middle attack back with a big blow from Williams, but it's played across free. Preston trying to get involved. Can't do it. Davis the pass to Carvalho. Back to Simmons. Squeezes it through past the arms of Wilder. And the Wildcats side out, and it's 15-14. Kaylee Williams back to serve. Her big 4-0 serving run in the back end of the first set was allowed the Wildcats to pull away for good. Herndon covers her own tip. It pinballs around, and Owens plays it free back to the Cats. Gonzalez on the slide, and Herndon took advantage of the block being a little slow to recognize the play and dribbles it down the front of the shirt of Demaya Hill to tie the second set at 15. What a serve! Amaya Jennings just had that one die right in front of Owens, and she couldn't do anything with it. Cats take the lead again, 16-15. In-system play for the Panthers. Hill gets the kill as Jennings couldn't keep it in play. Carvalho's going to come back in now to replace Williams as Purview ties the match and goes back on serve with Taylor Ruffin. Ruffin, as many of her teammates, has played her entire collegiate career at Prairie View A&M, has stayed through the coaching change. Simmons off the block. Davis is there to cover. Check that. Gonzalez outside the pin from Preston, and the Wildcats have another error. Coach Sherry Lindsay, who led the Panthers for the last couple of seasons, is now at Memphis, and Dottie Hampton was able to keep a bunch of the roster together and is doing great things. The Panthers currently sit 7-0 in conference play. Back row pipe attack, fought off by Gonzalez. Long run for Carvalho, sets up Simmons. The dig by Ruffin. The free ball off the pinball. Slide. Punched around on the Prairie View side, but it comes down in on the Wildcats side. So the up official called it a BCU point. The sideline official on that near side called it in for a Prairie View point. And I guess the up official wins because BCU's going to go on serve with Hemphill. And from where I'm sitting, that clearly landed in the court. Long slide, barely tipped inside the pin. Here's Preston, stuffed. Blocked by Wilder. Wildcats getting a little bit too predictable going to number 11 over there on that far side. She's going to sub out for Shayla Henry. Preston does lead this team in kills with 182. (18-17) Prairie View. Wildcats looking for a side out. Jennings tip. Overpass. Put down by Herndon. And the Wildcats tie it. Prairie View is not getting a ton of in-system looks off of Wildcats serves. And that's a major credit to how tough these Cats are serving, even if they're not getting aces. And they are getting aces because they got 6 in the match. 18 all. Middle attack, Hemphill with the dig, pushed over by Jennings. Owens, oh, a little bit of miscommunication there. Owens pushed it right on to Herndon's hands. Herndon tried to cover her own block and took it away from the diving Hemphill, who was right there to try and set it. So Prairie View takes the lead again as these teams trade back and forth as they have done for most of this match. Who will make the little late run to win this second set? Owens, big swing. Carvalho can't keep it up. Kylie Owens has been ridiculous. Her 11th kill of the match, hitting .429. But on the season, she's hitting .218 and approaching 300 kills. As Prairie View takes a 20-19 lead after that service error by Valencia Wilder. Wilder, true to her name, is a wild server. Coming into the game, 7 aces, 29 errors. And that tells me that she's serving a lot with those 29 errors. Down the line, and it eats up Carvalho. First real big involvement offensively for Teresita Caldwell. Her first kill of the match. Timeout Bethune-Cookman, as Coach Brittany Williams takes her second timeout of set number 2 with the Wildcats down 21-19. Bethune-Cookman football is back on the gridiron Saturday, October 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern, as the Wildcats host the Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff for homecoming at Daytona Stadium. The action will be live on SWAC TV, or you can listen to our radio call at 1380 WELE in Daytona Beach, or bcuathletics.com/radio. And that game is also homecoming. It's right around the corner. You won't want to miss a moment. Get your tickets today as BCU hosts Arkansas Pine Bluff Saturday, October 25th at Daytona Stadium. Get your tickets at bcuathletics.com/tickets. That's bcuathletics.com/tickets. Don't forget, the action will be live on SWAC TV, or you can listen right here on the CatEye Network on YouTube, or SWAC TV, or 1380 WELE, or bcuathletics.com/radio. It's been a really sloppy set for BCU volleyball. They trailed 21-19, are hitting just 152 with 10 errors. Sorry, that's the match. For the set, the Wildcats are hitting exactly 0. 8 kills, 8 errors have really been kept in this set by Prairie View. Their 4 errors and 4 service errors as well. 21-19, Prairie View trying to tie this match at 1 apiece. Mackenzie Taplin, the senior from Glen Heights, Texas, goes back to serve. Entire college career at Prairie View. Wildcats in system. Jennings, kaboom! Puts it on the floor in front of Smalls, the libero. And it's 21-20. In the first set, with the set in the balance, the Wildcats called a timeout after a 4-point Prairie View swing, and then rattled off a 5-pointer of their own to put the set out of reach. Can they do something similar here, down 21-20 with Melissa Gonzalez on serve? Smalls will set up Taplin, and Taplin will go to Owens down the pipe, and it's 22-20. They just feed their superstar from Culver City, California. 12 kills on the match for Owens. Nobody on the Wildcats has more than 5. And another service error keeps the Wildcats interested at 21-20. That time Owens serves wide. And even if Prairie View wins this set, Donnie Hampton, I'm sure, is not going to be thrilled with her team's performance from the service line. Great dig by Smalls. Owens has to run a long way. Hill, way long. Tie at 22. Prairie View still has both of their timeouts left in this set. When does Coach Hampton pull the trigger? In system middle. Dug out by Davis. Blocked for a Prairie View point. And once again, the Wildcats, who have vaunted themselves as being this ridiculous blocking team in all 10 seasons of Coach Brittany Williams' tenure, are being out-blocked on their home floor for the second match in a row. 23-22. Tipped, down, blocked again. This time a solo block by Wilder on the tip shot. And it's 2 set points for Prairie View. The Wildcats only have themselves to blame here in set number 2 if they can't claw their way back into it. Preston can't do a ton with that set, but it's going to be a free ball. Simmons from the middle. Nice dig by Sherwood. Jennings sets it up. Simmons has to claw it over. It rolls off the tape onto Prairie View's side. Here's Prairie View for the set. Carvalho digs. Preston swings and it's blocked. Correction, Henry swings and it's blocked. And 3 straight blocks for the last 3 Prairie View points. And the Panthers take set number 2 to tie the match. Rough set for the Wildcats in set number 2. They hit in the negatives. $11 attack errors to 9 kills for the Wildcats in set number 2. They finish with a negative hitting percentage. I mean, Prairie View not much better, just 150. With 5 service errors and 5 attack errors. The Panthers did everything they could to try and keep the Wildcats in that set, but the Wildcats just handed it to them. In 3 straight blocks to close it out for Prairie View. They had 5 blocks in the set, and now have 6 for the match and are out blocking the Wildcats 6-3. We'll take a bit of a longer break, and when we come back, we'll find out who takes control of this match as we head to the third set. You're watching Bethune-Cookman Volleyball on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. We are tied at 1 at Moore Gymnasium going to the third set between the Prairie View A&M Panthers and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. A very sloppy set on both sides in that second as the Wildcats hit in the negatives. Prairie View just hits 150 with a bunch of errors on both sides. The Panthers walled up at the end, their last 3 points to run away with it, 25-22, were all 3 on blocks. The Wildcats had chances. They tied it at 22, but Prairie View took the last 3 points. This is Michael Toretto. Happy to have your company here on a Saturday afternoon of volleyball inside Moore Gymnasium. This is the start of a 4-match road swing for the Prairie View A&M Panthers. After this, they get on the bus going up to Tallahassee for a match tomorrow against the struggling Florida A&M Rattlers. And then they make the Alabama swing, Alabama State and Alabama A&M. So those are all big matches coming up for Prairie View. And outside of Jackson State and Texas Southern, as that one rolls along the tape, comes down to the Wildcats side. Here comes Jennings out. And for the first time in the match, Prairie View takes the first point of a set. But outside of Jackson State and Texas Southern, which admittedly are impressive wins, Grambling, Pine Bluff, Alcorn, Southern, and Valley have been the teams that Prairie View has played. That's a scramble by the Cats. Here comes Prairie View. Owens tools the block. So as the Panthers make their way through the teams in the Eastern Conference, how SWAC volleyball works is you play everybody in your division home and away every year, and then you play everybody in the other division as that one's blocked and covered. Here comes the Cats. Jennings off the hands. And Smalls can't do anything but push it out of play. And the Wildcats will take their first point of the set. You play everybody in your division home and away. And then you play everybody in the other division once, alternating home and away every year. So the Wildcats went to Texas Southern and Prairie View last year. Awkward hit for the Panthers there. Here comes Simmons with a beautiful shot down the line. Prairie View went with only one in the back row there, and Camille Middleton couldn't jump across to handle that shot. It's 2-2. So a really tough 2 weeks for the Panthers. Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, and then the Alabama schools. Overpass, tipped back by Williams. Through the block and out. As the block was not coordinated there for the Wildcats. They were not together. And Teresita Caldwell makes them pay. Caldwell's second kill of the match. Fastball serve off the tape and down for an ace. And that's just unlucky for BCU. It's Layla Smalls, who admittedly hasn't had the best game. That's a little bit of redemption there. Smalls does lead the Panthers with 11 digs. That one barely kept from going into the stands off first contact. Prairie View in rhythm but blocked. The first time the Wildcats have really gotten a block in on Kylie Owens. A.J. Simmons did really well, pressing those hands across the net, directing the ball back into the court. 4-3 Prairie View here in set 3 with the match tied at 1. Haley Williams has a great serve. Long run for Ruffin to set this one up. Nice hit by Sherwood from the back row, but the Wildcats have a chance. And there's Ty Preston. Wildcat hitters have been kept very quiet this afternoon. Jennings and Preston both with 6 kills, neither hitting over 200. The Wildcats hitting just 114 as a team. It's been tough sledding on the offensive side. Prairie View mostly keeping the Wildcats in it with errors. Tipped into the block, falls back down on Prairie View's side off the tape, covered by Davis. Here's AJ. She puts it off the tape. A great diving dig by Ruffin. Responded in kind. Middle attack, sweeps it off the block. Oh no! I thought that hit hands, but it goes straight out for a Prairie View point. My apologies. 5-4 Prairie View, another hitting error for the Wildcats. And like I mentioned about BCU football early on in the year, another poor first contact sends Simmons all the way back. Middle attack spins out for a Wildcat point. But as I mentioned with Bethune-Cookman football, for the football team, it was the offense kind of looking at the defense going, hey, we're doing our jobs here. Why can't you stop anybody? It's the BCU defense right now going, hey, we're flying all over the court with these spectacular digs. Well, not that time. The middle attack goes down for Owens. Well, we're flying all over the court here, saving all these points, giving you opportunities. And all you're doing is hitting errors. Wildcats 24 kills, 15 errors on the match. Prairie View 28 kills, 14 errors. Another poor first contact off the serve. Preston has to stand and hit this over. Another chance for Prairie View, but it's hit long. Jade Coates smashes that out of play. Her first attack of the match, and it is long and wide. Coates, the senior out of Little Rock, transfer from the Division II level at East Central Oklahoma. Owens' first contact, they set up to Maya Hill with a big swing. When the Wildcats won set one, they did a great job on serve, making the back row players from Prairie View uncomfortable and setting up some poor passes. Here's the Wildcats in Swistom, but Amaya Jennings is seeing ghosts out there and hits that one into the basketball locker room almost. Carvalho passes it into the net. Good save from Gonzalez, and then it's squeezed to the block by Hill. And it is 9-6 Prairie View timeout Bethune-Cookman, as the Panthers, after a rough first set, have seemed to have got their mojo back. Bethune-Cookman Volleyball returns to Moore Gymnasium Friday, October 31st, as SWAC play rolls on. Catch all the action as the Wildcats host Alabama A&M at 6 p.m. in a crucial conference contest. Admission is always free at Moore Gymnasium if you can't make it to the game. Catch the action live for free at youtube.com/CatEye Network or SWAC TV, or you could also listen live at bcuathletics.com/radio. Shout out to our radio listeners this afternoon. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest, featuring all new items. Buy the latest BCU gear online in the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. Well, Texas Southern won a tight set two, and they have opened up really well in set three. The Wildcats still struggling on offense. 3 kills, 3 errors, a 0 hitting percentage at the start of this third set, with the match in the balance at 1 apiece. Long run for Hemphill to set it up. Great hit. And Jennings is going to get another chance at it, and this time takes some speed off of it and gets the kill down the line. Adeline Jadiafor dove for it. Comes off shaking her wrist as she heads to the bench. She'll be seen to by the athletic trainer for Prairie View. Carvalho with the serve. Hill down the line, out. And really, the best offense in that second set for the Wildcats, and in this whole match, to be perfectly fair, have been the Prairie View hitting errors. Now 16 hitting errors for Prairie View, and they're hitting just 174. Not a pretty game of volleyball by any means by either side right now. Williams covers her own block. Big swing by Jennings, dug out by Smalls, back to Hill, block back covered by Smalls, and Smalls gets it back again. And Carvalho will keep it up, but the Wildcats were in the net. Panthers back up by 2, 10-8. And this third set tied at 1. Late decision by Davis to play that. Looked like that serve was going long. But a great job by Jennings to tool the block. And I think if you're the Wildcats, trying to hit back in court against that double block for the Panthers has not been working out for you. So why not just try and tool it? Try to tip it into the pin, try and hit it hard off the outside of the hands. You can get just as many points that way as those clean, powerful shots down the middle. Slide attack, Davis right there to dig it. Jennings has to reach behind her head. First contact was out the back. Smalls has to play it free to the Cats. Here they come, middle attack, straight up into the rafters on the dig. Smalls goes to Hill, off the block, covered by Davis, but nobody was where Davis tipped it to. And Carvalho couldn't get there. 11-9 Panthers. Camille Middleton back to serve. Made the Texas State tournament all 4 years at Boswell High School, but that serve is into the Wildcat bench. And once again, Prairie View keeping the Wildcats in these sets. That's the 9th service error of the match for Prairie View. Bethune-Cookman just has 1 error to 6 aces. Middle attack, Carvalho can't get it. That was a big swing from Valencia Wilder as she goes out. But it's a 2-woman game right now on offense for Prairie View. Here come the Cats. Oh, kaboom! Goes Kaylee Williams down the middle. As I said, it's a 2-woman game right now for Prairie View on offense. Owens has 14 points. And Tamaya Hill has 12. Nobody else more than 3 for the Panthers. Strong flat serve, great dig off the hands. Jennings keeps it up, back to Preston, squeezes it through the block. And we are tied at 12. 3 of the last 5 points for Bethune-Cookman. Kaylee Williams already has 3 aces today to go along with her 2 from Friday night. Owens restores order with a kaboom of her own. Panthers will swap setters as Ruffin comes out. Mackenzie Taplin will check in. Taplin already has a SWAC Setter of the Week award this year and was on the all-tournament team at the Tarleton State Invitational. But she serves it out. And the Wildcats tie things at 13. Another service error. On the year, Prairie View, 108 service aces to 181 errors before the start of play today. Contrarily, the Wildcats, 106 aces to just 67 errors. And it's a different kind of serving philosophy, as there is an ace and a beauty for Amaya Jennings. Dropped that straight in front of Middleton, and the freshman pushed it into the net. Wildcats take their first lead of the set at 14-13. Here come the Cats, back set, far pin, Wingo! Tools the block again. Timeout Prairie View. Wildcats have a 15-13 lead in this set. All Wildcats recently. 5 of the last 6 points for BCU, forcing that Prairie View timeout. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU Volleyball, follow at BCU Volleyball on X and Instagram. Let's go around the SWAC. We've got plenty of volleyball action both today and tomorrow around the SWAC. Of course, on Friday, Bethune-Cookman beat Texas Southern 3-1. Alabama State came back to beat Alabama A&M 3-2. That is a massive result. That's the second loss for Alabama and A&M on the year. SWAC volleyball this year is going to be insane. Tune into Hail Wildcats Radio this week as we break down all the standings. But today, of course, it's Bethune-Cookman and Prairie View, Florida A&M and Texas Southern. Grambling State hosting Jackson State, and Arkansas Pine Bluff hosting Mississippi Valley. Standing hit from below the 3-meter line for Camille Middleton, and all she can do with it is pound the twine as the Wildcats have scored 6 of the last 7 and 4 straight to take a 16-13 lead in set 3. Nola Hempel back on serve, middle attack goes kaboom. Off the block and out for Kylie Owens. When the Prairie View needs a jolt of energy, they go to number 19, and they also bring Timaya Hill back in. Of course, Monday night we've got Prairie View going up to Florida A&M, Mississippi Valley at Grambling, and Jackson State at Arkansas Pine Bluff. Another service error for Prairie View. Kylie Owens gives serve right back to the Wildcats. $11 service errors on the match for Prairie View A&M. Great serve for the Cats. Hill, big swing, dug out by Carvalho. Hemphill, long run back to the 3-meter line. Pushed over by Jennings. Back row attack for Owens. Tipped off the block and covered. Carvalho sets up Jennings. Big swing dug out by Smalls. Here's the push far side for Hill. It's tipped off the block and covered by Davis on the back row. Jennings again with a big swing, and it went out of bounds cross court. Oh my goodness, the Wildcats hurting themselves with these unforced hitting errors again. Cats hitting just 140 for the match. Jennings, 8 kills, 5 errors on 26 swings. Leads the Cats, but very inefficient. Pinball off the serve. Here comes Prairie View, trying to get back in the match. A block, though! Sierra Herndon in the middle, stares Valencia Wilder in the face and says, "I'll have some of that. Please and thank you." Cats back up 18-15, and Carvalho with the serve. In system, far side, Demaya Hill completely gets that wrong and plays it out past the basketball baseline, and it's 19-15 Cats. Carvalho teardrop serve again. Middle attack, this time it's good. A little bit of redemption for Valencia Wilder. Kaylee Williams was right there in her face, chose to go left of the Williams block and shot it out the back off the arms of Riley Davis. So the Panthers side out, and here's Taylor Ruffin. Ruffin on serve, targets Jennings. Jennings gets it back from Hemphill, tools the block brilliantly. 2016 Cats. Both teams still with 1 timeout here in this third set. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't see both of them use it before the end of the set. Surely, I think if the Wildcats get another point, it might be time for Coach Dottie to use it. But the Panthers are in system. Excellent tip shot by Caldwell, just floats it over the double block of Jennings and Williams. And the Panthers are still in this one at 20-17. Well, the Wildcats just need to keep siding out. And they'll put Middleton back there on the service line. 2 errors already on the day from the service line for Middleton. That one's playable though. Davis, middle attack, kaboom for A.J. Simmons. 21-17. Melissa Gonzalez back in there to set for the Wildcats, replacing Hemphill. And Amaya Jennings. The Minnesota native back to serve. Middle attack for the Panthers. Carvalho with the dig. She has to hit it back over off a ricochet. Wilder floats it over the block. What a recovery. And the Wildcats are going to get the point. A double contact as it was pushed over the net by the setter, Taylor Ruffin. 22-17, timeout Panthers. Now you can do that kind of double contact where the ball's not completely straight off a set. If it doesn't go over the net, that's the new rule that was implemented last year. But if it goes over and you are judged to double hit on an attack, that is an error, and the Wildcats will take that point and be up 22-17 in this crucial third set. I'm going to see if any of the other SWAC volleyball games have started yet, so I keep you up to date with everything going on around the SWAC. The only other one that probably would have started by now is Florida A&M at Texas Southern, which was set to start at noon Eastern. They're still just at the end of the first set. Florida A&M has won the first set over Texas Southern 25-19, so the Rattlers are up 1-0 over the Tigers. Back here at Moore Gym, it is 1-1. The other matches today in the SWAC: Jackson State at Grambling State, Mississippi Valley at Pine Bluff. Both of those games starting later. Jackson Grambling at 3 p.m. Eastern, Valley Pine Bluff at 5 p.m. Eastern. Amaya Jennings back to serve for VCU as they try to close out this third set, leading 22-17 with the match in the balance at 1 apiece. Owens got stuffed. And then the ball hits off the shot clock on top of the basketball hoop. And the Wildcats will go up 23-17. That's the second time the Wildcats have blocked Owens today. The set did her no favors as she had to reach well back to try and tip it over. Kaylee Williams was there along with A.J. Simmons. Jennings still serving, drops that one straight in the middle, pushed across. Owens got blocked again, into that at once, twice, and tamely pushed over. Here come the Cats. Carvalho plays it to A.J. Simmons. The dig on the back row from Middleton. Owens again. Carvalho can't dig that one out, and it's 23-18. Prairie View is really showing their hand now late in this third set. They are going route one to number 19, Kylie Owens, pretty much every time. And if the Wildcats can double up on her, they stand a good chance of forcing a block. Remember, it was 22-22 at the end of the second set, and Prairie View used 3 straight blocks to win the set. Tough serve. Played over tamely. Here come the Panthers. Back to Owens. Tug out by Carvalho. It goes over, but it has to be played because it would have landed in the court. Owens has to play a free ball. Here come the Cats. Gonzalez to Preston. Kaboom! 5 set points for BCU here in set 3. It's been a quiet night for the Wildcat hitters. That was only the 5th kill for Ty Preston. Kaylee Williams is going to try to serve the set out, but she puts it in the net. That's only the 2nd service error of the match for Bethune-Cookman. Prairie View has had 11 service errors and 21 attack errors in the match. A major reason why Bethune-Cookman, even though their hitting percentage is lower, have a chance to take a 2-1 lead. Let's try to side out for the set. Back set, Simmons. Did that touch a finger? Yes, it did on the way through. And the Wildcats take a 2-1 lead. 25-19 in set numero 3. Much better from the Wildcats in that set. Remember, in the 2nd set, they hit negative .41. In the 3rd set, they bump it up to 241. They also get 3 blocks in that set as they force Prairie View to hit just .98 with 13 kills and 9 errors. The Wildcats drop from 11 attack errors in set 2 to 4 in set 3, and they have a chance to take the match in set number 4. We'll have set 4 for you when we come back. This is Bethune-Cookman Volleyball on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. Well, the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman are poised to make some waves in the SWAC here on Sunday afternoon. They have a 2-1 lead over the unbeaten Prairie View A&M Panthers. And mostly the Panthers have done it to themselves. They've outkilled Bethune-Cookman 39-33. They're out hitting, well, no, not on, after the 2nd set, the Wildcats are barely out hitting the Panthers, 157 to 154. But I guess you can tell where the issues are coming from on Prairie View's side just from those stats. It's 21 attack errors for Prairie View and 11 service errors by Prairie View A&M in just 3 sets. Once again, Michael Turillo here for the CatEye Network. Happy to have your company on this Sunday afternoon of SWAC Volleyball. The Wildcats looking to take away the O in that loss column for Prairie View A&M. Real fastball pass, pushed down the line and out for a Prairie View point. Wildcats had that one pinball around, and Amaya Jennings can't do much with it. The Wildcats today with a win and a Texas Southern loss would move temporarily into second place. Off the ceiling, Carvalho reads it, but it's going to be a chance for an in-system play for Prairie View. Off the block and out, 2-0 Panthers. And this is how the Panthers started set number 3, and they had the lead for a long time before a late teens BCU rally to take a lead that they would not relinquish. Davis from her knees sets up Jennings for a big swing. And the Wildcats are on the board in the 4th set. Coming into today's contest, Prairie View A&M at 7-0. Texas Southern at 6-1. The Wildcats a half game back at 6-2. Alabama A&M at 5-2. Alabama State and Jackson State also at 5-2. As Judea 4 gets the rare middle blocker swing. Then the drop-off from the 5-2 teams to the one team at 4-3, that's Southern. Then the 2-5s, Florida A&M and Grambling. Alcorn at 1-6, Valley and Pine Bluff both at 0-7. They play each other this evening, so somebody's in that regard has got to go. Free ball played for the Panthers off a pinball tip. Off the tape, Cats keep it alive. Preston has to wait for it to come down and floats it to the back row. Not a great first contact by Judea 4, and the Cats will get a freebie. Gonzalez across, Preston! Big swing, but long. As that set was a little high, Preston couldn't direct it downwards. Best start to a set for Prairie View, as it's now 5-1 off a service ace. Wildcats shotgun a timeout early as they're down 5-1. That was Judea 4, the Miami, Florida native, who got that service ace, just put it right in between everybody, right on the 3-meter line. Judea 4, not a stranger to HBCU volleyball. After 3 years of varsity volleyball at North Miami Senior High School, played 2 seasons at State College of Florida, the JUCO level, and then 3 years at Norfolk State. Her 181 blocks as a Spartan is 3rd in NSU history, and now playing her final year of eligibility for the Prairie View A&M Panthers. And Prairie View has always been one of those teams that were dominant before Florida A&M joined the SWAC, and then kind of played second fiddle and third fiddle at times to them and Jackson State. The last 2 years under Sherry Lindsay, 19-13 overall and 17-16 overall. But before that, 8-26 in 2021, 8-24 in 2022. And 7 wins in 2018, 12 in 2020. Prairie View's been an up-and-down volleyball program. Oh, really late decision, and probably the wrong decision to play that serve by Amaya Jennings, and it's 2 straight service aces for Prairie View A&M. It's 6-1. 4 straight points for the Panthers. Judea 4 almost had a service fault, barely got that over the net. A.J. Simmons off the hand. Judea 4 with the dig. The set from Taplin. The swing is dug. From the back row, tipped and covered by the Panthers. Taplin again sets it up. Owens meets the wrist of Carvalho. Pressed across. Preston back to the middle and down. And the Wildcats finally break the scoring run. But it's going to be a fair long way back for the Cats series. They trail 6-2. Three Panthers are on the current Avid Volleyball HBCU Team of the Week, as that one's blocked and unable to be covered by the Panthers. That one almost looked like it came off the face of Sierra Herndon. But however it gets redirected, it'll count for a Wildcat point. It's Mackenzie Taplin, Taylor Ruffin, and Layla Smalls are on the Avid Volley HBCU Team of the Week after their 2 3-0 demolitions. Gonna have to be a free ball back to the Panthers after a couple of ricochets. The swing is off the top of the tape and blocked back to the Panthers side. And then a ball is long. The set from Taplin was really high. Tamaya Hill couldn't direct it downwards. And it's 3 straight for the Cats as they're back down just 6-4 after that Wildcat timeout. Williams just barely got it over the net, and that's gonna be an ace. As Layla Smalls dug it out, but it landed out of play. And just as quick as the Wildcats used the timeout, Coach Hampton in Prairie View says, I want to talk things over too, as the Wildcats get 4 straight and are back down just 6-5. Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. That's bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu, and your business could be on air with the Wildcats. We've got plenty of football left, plenty of volleyball left. Of course, basketball is shaping up to have a great season. You can put your advertising dollars to work with us on the CatEye Network. This has been a wild set. Prairie View had 6 of the first 7 points, and then a 4-0 run after a BCU timeout capped off by a Kaylee Williams service ace. And the Wildcats are serving through Williams to try and tie this 4th set at 6. The Wildcats lead 2-1 in the match, trying to hand Prairie View their first conference loss of the season. Williams to Smalls again. Overpass! Put down with authority by Sierra Herndon. And we are tied at 6. Got some royalty in the house today. I saw BCU president, Albert Mosley in the house earlier. Oh, that's a beauty. Pinpoint accurate serve to the back right corner of Prairie View. Kylie Owens thought it was going out, let it go, and it landed right in the corner. Cats up 7-6. 6 straight points for Bethune-Cookman, including 2 service aces by Williams. And a block as well! The Panthers tried to go middle, and Sierra Herndon says no! Solo block in the middle. 8-6 Wildcats, 7-0 run. Williams. Overpass again! And A.J. Simmons says, give me that! An 8-0 serving run for Kaylee Williams, including 2 aces and 2 overpasses. Wow. Williams again with an ace! She wrong foot Smalls, and it goes right past her. 3 aces in this service run for Williams. She's got 6 on the night. Timeout, Prairie View. They've used both of their timeouts as the Wildcats have reeled off 9 in a row. Wow. Have a day, Kaylee Williams. 3 kills, 1 error, 6 digs, 4 block assists, and 6 service aces. 10-6 Wildcats here in set 4. After BCU was down 6-1, they called a timeout. Kaylee Williams stepped to the service line. And for the last 5 minutes, everything has come up maroon and gold, but you got to keep playing all the way to the end. All the way to the end. Because this Prairie View A&M team is not undefeated for no reason. They've beaten Jackson State. They went on the road and took care of Texas Southern. But the Wildcats closing in potentially on a 2-0 weekend against the Texas schools. And oh no, Kaylee Williams has a service error and brings her 9-0 service run to an end. But really, a commendable effort by Kaylee Williams. A 9-0 service run, but the Wildcats are only up 3, 10-7, and here comes Prairie View with the serve. Wildcats got to play inside out here. Simmons off the block. Great up by Smalls into the bench. Smalls gets it back and plays it over. Gonzalez sets up the slide, and kaboom goes Sierra Herndon. Herndon now with 5 kills on the match. A solo block and 3 assists as well for Sierra. As Nola Hemphill trades out with Gonzalez, and she'll go to the line. So the Wildcats just side out immediately. It's all you need to do for the Wildcats now. It sounds simple. Big swing right down the pipe in between the blockers for Jemiah Hill. She's been quiet after a strong opening to the game. That's her 14th kill. Kylie Owens has 17 kills, but nobody else for the Panthers has more than 4. Here's Camille Middleton. With that overhand serve, Preston down the line, tipped through, and good for a BCU point. You can see Taylor Ruffin, who is on that far sideline, trying to direct it back in court. But the ball just shot off the outside of her wrist and out the back. 12-8 Wildcats. Davis. The serve to Smalls, in-system middle attack. Oh, Carvalho, what a dig. And again by McDaniel, correction, Hemphill. But Prairie View gets it back, and Kylie Owens with the big swing down the line. Now that ball landed out. It was called a touch, and it looks like we might have our first review of the afternoon as Coach Williams is hearing from her players that they 100% did not touch it, so we might have a challenge here. And BCU is going to challenge that there was no block touch on that shot by Kylie Owens. And for the first time today, we have a review, which is the toughest part of the match for me as a solo broadcaster. Because I got nobody to talk to up here but myself and the good people listening on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. We appreciate your company. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/championsclub. That's bcuathletics.com/championsclub. Checking in on some set 4 statistics for you. It's 12-9 right now, with the potential of going 13-8 Wildcats if this challenge is successful. For the Wildcats, 12 points, 6 kills on 14 swings with 2 errors, hitting .286 with 3 aces, all of them in that 9-0 service run by Kaylee Williams. For Prairie View, 9 points, 4 kills, 3 attack errors, hitting .067 off 15 swings with 2 service errors. 2 service aces, no service errors. The Wildcats do have 2 blocks in this set. And I mentioned that BCU was being outblocked on their home floor for the second match in a row. Well, they are now not. They have come back to take a blocking lead, 8-6. Remember, on Friday night against Texas Southern, only had 3 total blocks. Correction, 4 total blocks to Texas Southern's 10, but still won the match 3-1, as they are trying to do right now against Prairie View. Wildcats won the first set 25-20. They dropped the second set 25-22 when Prairie View took a 22-22 tie and had 3 blocks in a row to end that set. And then Bethune-Cookman bounced back with a 25-19 win in set number 3. We're getting an explanation on the review, and it's going to be a Wildcat point, as it did not take a touch. Kylie Owens hit it out of bounds, and it's 13-8. What a massive swing from 12-9 to 13-8. Great call by both the players on the floor to tell Coach Williams, hey, challenge this, and for Coach Williams to take their advice. Back set for Prairie View, and tooling the block is Caldwell. And so Prairie View gets that point right back, and it's 13-9. In the match, the Wildcats hitting 172, the Panthers 129. Not a very pretty offensive game. Lots of errors for both sides. Back set on the slide, a little awkward for Henry. She couldn't get it over the net. But the block is there for the Wildcats, covered. From the back row, a great diving dig by Davis, but it's too close to the net on the pass, and Jennings can't do anything with it. And it's 13-10 as here come the Panthers. Now Coach Dottie Hampton has an issue with the scorers table. She thinks it should be 13-11 instead of 13-10. She's arguing with Bryce, our SID, who's doing live stats today. It was 12-8, and then it was 12-9 before the challenge, and then the challenge overturned it, therefore it was 13-8. But we're going to go and check with the official scores, as Coach Hampton still not happy about this. But according to my brain, and I can only go off what I've seen in the live stats, it should be 13-10, and it is. And here we go. 13-10. The senior from San Antonio, Layla Smalls, serving. Wildcats trying to side out. Carvalho takes the pass. Hempel over to Jennings. Pushed across. Long run to set up Owens down the line and in. Clips the back corner. Great shot by Owens. 3 in a row for Prairie View. And 5 of the last 6 for the Panthers as well, but there's another service error. This time from Middleton. Gives the ball back to the Wildcats, and when the Prairie View A&M Panthers look at the score sheet from this match, they're going to see all those service errors and all those hitting errors, as there's another hitting error at the near pin for Owens. And know that that's where they went wrong in this one, as that hitting percentage continues to plummet for Prairie View. Carvalho now serving. Nice serve, forces a poor pass, and that one took a touch all the way throughout the back, so it'll be a Prairie View point. Almost looked like Coach Williams thought about challenging that one too, but she'll let it go. Wildcats still by 3, 15-12 here in the 4th set. Prairie View trying to force 5. Wildcats trying to get out of here with a win and force the first Prairie View loss in conference play this season. Middle attack, blocked but out. That was a vicious swing by Williams. And it's not often you see a tool out the side from a middle attack off a solo block, but that ball was hit so fast it ricocheted all the way out to where it says Coach Cy Court on the far side. Two Prairie View players almost run into each other on the serve receive. Someone's in the net, and it's the Panthers. Sherwood took a swing at it and hit the net on the downswing. And I think Prairie View is challenging that they were in the net, or that they were not in the net. And Coach Hampton is trying to use this as a pseudo another timeout. So as it stands, the Wildcats lead 17-12. If this call is overturned, then the Wildcats would lead 16-12, and they would replay this point. In the fourth set, the Wildcats are out-hitting Prairie View 294 to .45. 6 attack errors for the Panthers on 7 kills. Wildcats 7 kills, 2 errors. Prairie View 2 aces, 1 error. Wildcats 3 aces, 1 error. Wildcats also with 2 blocks in the frame to Prairie View's none. Another really important review here, because the Wildcats would love to be up 17-12 instead of 16-12. Now, this point would not be overturned if this review is successful, because Prairie View were challenging that they were not in the net as called. So it'll be 16-12 for Bethune-Cookman. The Wildcats would still be on serve, because the last point before that was a Kaylee Williams kill that she tooled Mackenzie Taplin on the block. But the Wildcats' digging has really kept them in this match, as it has all season long. 56 digs to 54, the Wildcats lead. These are the two best digging teams in the SWAC. Wildcats average 15.7 digs per set. They're number 1. Prairie View 13.7 digs per set. They're number 2 in the conference, and you can really see why. Really good backline play from both of these teams today. But where Prairie View has gone astray are the 12 service errors and the 27 attack errors. The Wildcats haven't played that clean. They have 19 attack errors. And the Wildcats are going to get that point. So the call on the floor stands. Point BCU, as they say that Sherwood was in the net. Fastball served by Gonzalez. Owens off the tape. Oh, what a diving save. Once and twice and out of play. Jennings couldn't keep it in tight enough for Carvalho to go get. 17-13. Prairie View sides out, and back to serve is their talisman, Kylie Owens. 18 kills on the match. Pushed across, Jennings reaches back behind her head. Great dig by Smalls. Tapped just over, here come the Cats. Really tight to the net, and Prairie View's in the net. On the joust. Jadiafor called for the infraction on the joust. It's 18-13 Cats. Middle attack, kept up. Davis, what a save. Free ball, though, for the Panthers. Here they come. And it's excuse me, it is a assist error, service error. They tried to play it left pin for Demaya Hill, but Mackenzie Taplin set that into the scorer's table. The Wildcats running away with this fourth set, 19-13. This time, Demaya Hill gets stuffed! A.J. Simmons flying out of nowhere to block that one down, and the Wildcats are 5 points from safety. (20-13). Wildcats looking for a sweep of the Texas schools at home this weekend. Prairie View does not have any timeouts left. They gotta play it out. Just a little redirect off the block took it away from Jennings, who couldn't cover. And Prairie View sides out. Wildcats have had 5 of the last 8 points. Carvalho sets it up, back set, and a good shot by A.J. Simmons. Just clipped it off the inside of the blocking arm of Kennedy Massey, the freshman who's just come in, the freshman from Manville, Texas. 21-14, Wildcats trying to run away and hide with this win. Williams off the tape, played by the Panthers. Wildcats will get a chance at it though. Gonzalez to Preston, squeezes it down the shirt of Wilder, who couldn't press her hands across the net. 22-14. Remember, it was 6-1 Prairie View in this set. Late decision to play that ball in the back row, and Owens hits it into the net. Had it roll off her forearm. (23-14). And a service error for Kaylee Williams gives the ball back to Prairie View. Ever since the failed challenge by Prairie View at 13-10, it is a 10-5 Bethune-Cookman run, and they lead 23-15 with a 2-1 lead. Oh, that's a terrible error, or an ace, excuse me, a terrible ace to concede off Prairie View. That one hit the net and just barely rolled over the tape and down for a Prairie View point. So an error for Williams and then an ace for Ruffin. Wildcats in transition with Preston. Tools the block. Preston had that ball come right back at her face, but it went out of bounds. It gets loud here at the gym as the Wildcats have match point, and not only that, they have 8 match points. Carvalho behind her head, Preston off the tip. Prairie View, Owens with the swing, it's out, it didn't take a touch! This one belongs to the maroon and gold. Oh, they're gonna challenge it. They're gonna challenge that it took a touch. Immediately, Coach Dottie Hampton went to the scorer's table and flashed that green card. It looked to me, in real time, like it did take a touch. It looked like it took a touch in real time. It looked like it deflected a little bit. But we will go to a review. It'll either be a Wildcat win 25-16, or we'll play on at 24-17. And the Wildcats will have match point again for at least 7 more times. So the Wildcats await the result of this challenge to see if they will win the match right now, or they'll have to get 1 more point. But what a 4th set. We've been talking all year about this Wildcats team and their ability to close matches and close sets and just turn it on late. From 13-11 BCU over Prairie View, the Wildcats have outscored the Panthers 12-6. And if this review is upheld, the Wildcats will have scored 8 of the last 10 points in the match. Sorry, 8 of the last 13 points in the match. As we still wait for the result of this challenge by Prairie View head coach Dottie Hampton. The Wildcats thought they'd won the match. Prairie View challenging that there was a block touch on a hitting error that went out the back of the court. Appreciate you checking in with the CatEye Network and SWAC TV this afternoon. I've appreciated the pleasure of your company. Michael Turillo here. The review is unsuccessful. Wildcats win. This one belongs to the maroon and gold. The Wildcats beat a Texas Southern team that only had one loss on Friday, 3-1. And now the only team that beat Texas Southern and was undefeated, the Prairie View A&M Panthers, have an O in the loss column no more. They come to Moore Gym, and the Wildcats send them home 3-1. 25-16 in the fourth. The whole match, 25-20 in the first, 22-25 in the second, 25-19 in the third, and 25-16 in the fourth and final set. Stay on the line. I'm going to hopefully talk to Coach Brittany Williams as the Wildcats celebrate a perfect weekend at Moore Gym. Everything coming up Wildcats. As we are waiting to hear on the post-game interview from Coach Brittany Williams, she's going to grab the stats printout and then head up here to the broadcast decks to speak with all of you about a wild weekend at Moore Gym. President Albert Mosley came over to congratulate the team as they went off the floor. Prairie View has to get back up quickly because they have to go to Tallahassee tomorrow and play Florida A&M, a Florida A&M team that is now 2-0 up over Texas Southern, as they've won the first set 25-19 and the second set 25-23 over Texas Southern. So Texas Southern in danger of going 0-2 on the weekend. It is a wild SWAC standings, especially if Texas Southern drops 0-2. Bethune-Cookman, with their 2 wins this week, is going to be second in the conference, only behind Prairie View. And this is a big if Prairie View drops tomorrow against Florida A&M, the Wildcats could have the opportunity to be first in the conference going into next weekend. What a crazy day at Moore Gym as the Wildcats win 3-1. Here are your final statistics for this match. For Prairie View A&M, they had the 2-woman game working. Kylie Owens led the match, 19 kills on 42 swings with 5 errors, hit .333, had 1 assist, 1 service error, and 8 digs. Demaya Hill, 14 kills on 54 swings with 15 errors, hit -0.19 with 1 assist and 2 digs. For the Wildcats, very balanced offensively. Amaya Jennings, 10 kills, 6 errors on 33 swings. AJ Simmons, 10 kills, 4 errors on 33 swings as well. And Preston had 9 kills, 5 errors on 25 swings, hit .160. We're now joined on the CatEye Network post-game show by Coach Williams. Coach, 2-0 this week. over the two Texas schools. This is the second year in a row where you've swept the Texas schools. Last year you did it on the road. This year you did it at home. And to knock off the previously undefeated Prairie View A&M, how you feeling?
Feeling great. We knew coming in, that they had firepower on the pins, and it was just about containing their outsides. And so I think our block did a good job. We struggled a little bit in the beginning, but I think our block did a good job of picking it up there at the end and really getting the big blocks when it mattered.
Talk about bringing the block back into play, right? Because on Friday you were out-blocked 9-3. Today you out-blocked them 9-6. And it's not usual that you guys get out-blocked in a match like you did against Texas Southern.
Mm-hmm. We lost two big-time blockers last year, two-time blocker of the year. And I think now it's just about understanding how to take up space. And so that's one thing we've really been working on with them on in practice. And so, it takes that first set to kind of get used to the hitter. What is she trying to do? What are her tendencies? And I think we just did a much better job today of making adjustments on their pins versus what we were able to do on Friday.
Talk about Kaylee Williams, because you were down 6-1 in the fourth set. You call a timeout. You side out. Kaylee Williams steps to the service line and rattles off a 10-0 run with 3 aces. She finishes with 6 aces on the day, 5 kills, and 5 block assists.
So early on in the season, we were at a tournament, and I had a coach come up to me and tell me, that's the best serving middle I've ever seen. And this is a coach that I've known who's been coaching for 40-plus years. And it's just that she's able to put a pace and speed on the ball, and she does a good job of picking away at people's serve receive, and she just is steady back there.
Talk about serve receive yourself, right? It's an area where you've been critical of your team in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's, last year and the year before. This year it seems a lot better, both with Amaya Jennings back there and with Stephanie Carvalho.
Yes. Stephanie just makes everybody around her comfortable. She talks to them. She lets them know, hey, if you take this space, I'll take this space. And she backs it up. So I think when you have somebody that's so knowledgeable like that passing next to you, you just have a level of comfort. And I think that's something we hadn't had in the past.
You get a couple days off, and then at Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Grambling State next weekend. On paper, 2 winnable matches, but no matches are easy in this conference.
Right.
What are your thoughts going into next week?
The same thing we tell our girls every week. We have to show up and we have to play. It is a dogfight every single match in the conference right now. And so you got to show up every single day. You can't count anybody out, especially on the road. People play different at home. And so for us, we've just got to control what we control and make sure we play Wildcat volleyball on our side.
A Wildcat volleyball team that is now in second provisional first place in the SWAC conference after this weekend. Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Once again, your final score of this one, the Wildcats win it 3-1, 25-20, 22-25, 25-19, and 25-16 to knock the Prairie View A&M Panthers from the ranks of the unbeaten. For Lee, KJ, KC, excuse me. I'm very tired. It's been a long weekend. Lee and Casey, our Wildcat student crew, and myself, Michael Toronto, thank you for listening to BCU Volleyball on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. We'll be back next Saturday for BCU football against Arkansas Pine Bluff for homecoming. Make sure to stay tuned for that. And as always, hail Wildcats.